Welcome to the next series in the Corn College presentations. Today we're joined by Aaron Vammer, field agronomist for Pioneer here in Northeast Colorado. We're excited to have him join us today and give us a little bit of background and get a little bit of information and just update on everybody on the seed treatments that you get with your Pioneer seed. These have changed over the last couple years, and I know a lot of people sometimes get a little bit confused on when they hear the terms mid treat, high treat, and exactly what's in that, or what's on that seed. So Aaron, I think we'll just go ahead and jump in, and I'll turn it over to you. And I sure appreciate you joining us today.
Sure. Well, thank you, Chad, and thank you for having me, and thank you to anybody for listening and joining us this morning. Happy to talk to you guys about some of the Pioneer seed treatment offerings that we offer here. We have a good lineup. So here, starting off, when we talk about Pioneer seed treatments, we call them PPSTs. That's Pioneer Premium Seed Treatments. And basically, to get your top end yield, you need to start with matching the right genetics and traits to the right field. That's first and foremost. And then following that, you want to be able to protect your yield potential with the PPST program. You know, with the recent storms we've had, the cool soils, we've sure had a lot of ups and downs with our temperature, and I think we're going to have some pretty stressed corn going in the ground here in a couple of weeks. We're going to have the cool temperatures, which just open the door for any disease pressure, just make it hard to establish that root system early on. So I think now more than ever here in Northeast Colorado, I think these seed treatments are very crucial. So moving into them, I'll start with our first. We've got two seed treatment offerings. Like Chad said, we've got a mid-rate or a mid-treat and a high-treat. The first one being the mid-treat. We offer the PPST 250 plus the DuPont Lumivia insecticide treatment. Basically, the ingredients here, you got two fungicides going on. You got your Maximum Quattro, which has 4 modes of action, as you can see here, in addition to your ethoboxam. And then in addition to your fungicide, we've got the insecticide portion of that, which is your Cruiser 250 and your Lumivia portion of that. And then you've got your biological component as well. That's a bacillus biological component there. Some attributes with that, it'll provide you additional protection against seed and soil-borne diseases early season. It gives you multiple modes of action, like I mentioned, to provide broad-spectrum Pythium protection in season. And it'll offer proven insect protection that enhances your early season plant health, which is very crucial. Now, with that Lumivia, that's a novel second mode of action. I mean, that's critical and very well-proven insecticide there, and we'll discuss that here in a little bit in more depth. But that'll provide you broader spectrum insect control as well and give you uniform and healthy stands. Now, this is basically our standard treatment right now, offered on most Pioneer brand products that you will order this year.
So
Now,
Aaron, if I may quick ask you a question on that. So
sure.
even with the mid rate, you're getting two fungicides and two insecticides, plus that biological with that mid rate, correct?
Yes, exactly. And I mean, the key thing, like I mentioned, is especially with your fungicides, is the multiple modes of action. If you look there, you've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different modes of action. So you're throwing a pretty good piece of armor around your corn seed there with these seed treatments. So
Okay. I think that's
definitely important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something that is often overlooked a little bit, that we think, we just say, oh, it has fungicide and insecticide on it, but to realize that it has five different modes of action, through those two products, both fungicide and two products of insecticide. So something to keep in mind, I guess. So
Yes, for sure. Now, I mentioned the Lumivia, and here is a good diagram of how Lumivia works early season. So up till V5, that Lumavia is going to move throughout your corn plant. You're going to have it in your roots, your seed, and your shoot. So, I mean, basically, if there's any type of feeding, that'll get that insect wherever they're chewing on that plant up to V5. So that's a pretty beneficial aspect right there. So I guess next we'll move on to the PPST plus Poncho 1250 Vetivo. So this is our high rate option or our high treat option. Now the ingredients here is similar to the PPST plus Lumavia, but this you'll get your Maxim Quattro and then your ethoboxam there. So again, your 5 modes of action for fungicides. Your insecticide and nematicide is different here. Instead of your Lumavia, you're going to have your Poncho 1250 and Votivo. Now what this will give you, this brings corn rootworm protection and nematode protection to the table as well. And again, you have your biological components. So here you have your Votivo, which is your Bacillus firmus, and then you've also got your Bacillus, your original Bacillus biological component from the mid-rate treatment. Some attributes here: it provides additional protection against your seed and soil-borne diseases. It's available in different modes of action, like I touched on. And then this will, the big thing here is, like I said, it'll include your nematode and your rootworm protection. So any high rootworm or nematode pressured acres, you're going to be wanting to look at this high treat. It'll be a good option to place there. Definitely in addition, if you're on rotated corn acres, in addition to your triple stack, it's really good to put this on, just another layer of protection to keep those little buggers from getting a hold of your roots. So this is the option for selected brand corn products on an as ordered basis. Like I say, if you're on high pressure ground, you're going to definitely want to be looking into this option. So now moving on to the insecticide portion of the seed treatments, here are some of the control or insects that are controlled by the seed treatment. As you see, it's a pretty good lineup here. Just notice the levels of protection down here at the bottom of the graphic here, but definitely a good lineup. I like what we see as far as below ground protection or early season protection. Definitely a very good product to have on our seed going in the ground. So whether you're going high treat or mid treat there. So I touched on the biological components of the seed treatment. The biologicals, they will colonize the root surface and create an enhanced root environment. Basically, that biological component will grow with your roots. Definitely provide a barrier from any type of disease pressure, even very small insect pressure. I think as long as you've got that biological barrier, you're definitely protecting your roots there. So that's very important. What they'll help to do is increase your root mass, improve plant performance, and increase your yield potential. And then that will also maximize your early season plant stand. I mean, it's critical. You got to keep your populations up. You got to be able to. You want to minimize your loss, is what I'm trying to say there. You don't want to have any big issues as far as the stand loss, or because that'll correlate to yield loss later in the year.
So, Aaron, one quick question for you here on the biologicals. We get a lot of press or attention with some of the newer biologicals, some of the newer biological products that are coming on the market, and guys are getting approached by a lot of retailers and sales guys with newer biologicals, and I guess I know Pioneer puts a lot of pride and effort into evaluating a lot of these newer biologicals to see if they have a fit in their seed treatment package. So I guess I just ask you to make a few comments on biologicals in general, or adding additional seed treatment to what Pioneer already has, if you would, please.
Sure. So, Chad, with our seed treatments, Pioneer's put a lot of research and development into our seed treatments. So I'm very confident with what we have as far as biologicals on our seed treatments. Growers will get a lot of pressure from the retail side of things sometimes to add some more biologicals. I guess, like I say, this is a Cadillac seed treatment. I don't know if they're necessarily critical. I think what we have on our seed treatment is able to withstand a lot of the early season pressures that we're facing. So, you and I, Chad, we had a discussion a little bit earlier, and you said it best, I guess, I'd rather see that money spent on fertilizer. I'd like to not focus so much on the biological part of it, because we are covering that from the Pioneer end on our seed treatment. So
Okay.
does that answer that question, Chad?
Yep, definitely. Thanks for those comments.
Sure. Now moving on, the last thing I wanted to cover was our fungicide portion of it. The fungicide, and we discussed this a little bit already, but the fungicide portion has a 5-way formulation, which provides a new standard for broad spectrum protection of the seed. It'll provide your best-in-class systemic protection against Fusarium and Pythium. Like I say, that'll grow with your seed, so that's very important. And it will help protect your roots and develop vigorous, healthy plants and maximize your early season plant stands. Like we discussed earlier, you want to start good with a good stand, and you don't want to lose any of that stand. That'll correlate to yield loss. So, I guess going forward, that I think Pioneer offers a very good seed treatment lineup. I know there's a lot of research and development going on there to even further and better our seed treatment lineup in the future. And we're excited with the product. We're excited for the products that we offer, and excited for the future down the road, Chad. So I guess that's what I had. Do you have any questions or any comments, Chad?
I don't think so. I appreciate it, Aaron, and I think it is important for guys to know, to know what's on that seed, and a little bit of what research and stuff's behind it. So, and it's something that when selecting hybrids and stuff, you really don't think about it a lot. You're looking at yield performance more than anything, or some of those traits, and not thinking about what's on the seed. But something we definitely need to think of, and like you mentioned earlier, cool wet years is often when we see a big response to seed treatments, and it looks like at least the early part of the season looks like we're going to be in for that. So definitely appreciate your comments this morning. So
not a problem, anytime. And as you can see, my name and contact information are up on the screen. Anybody, if any questions, first call Chad, but if you have any questions for me, feel free. I'm happy to answer them. So thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. Have a good day.
You too. Thanks.